Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is combo number 2. I'm Tom Flores,
I'm Travis Baker.
and today we'll be talking about
10 Cloverfield Lane, written by Josh. What was the name? I know one of the writers is Damien Chazelle, and just because he wrote and directed Whiplash, which I really like. Have you seen Whiplash?
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and so he did help do the rewrite, hence him getting a screenplay credit around. Although the two original writers are in screenplay and story, directed by Dan Trachtenberg and produced by J.J. Abrams through his company Bad Robot Productions.
And overall, this movie we really liked.
It was really good.
It's definitely dialogue heavy. There's no real big flash. There's not much action. The big action happens at the very, very beginning and the very, very end. All the big stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's very dialogue heavy. It keeps the audience not on their toes or at the edge of their seat. More of like, it just keeps us interested in knowing what happens next, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens in this story, the whole thing revolves around the main character, Michelle.
Yeah, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mm-hmm. She's a great actress. And what happens with her is she after a car accident, a big car accident, that was a huge wreck. But
yeah.
Great way to show the main title because the way it was done. You said it was like, the way everything was done was like old school movie credits.
Yeah, like it reminded me of like a 70s movie, the way it just cut to the title. And I was half expecting the title to sort of move like it was on a film projector.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this movie was shot in film. I know J.J. Abrams is a big proponent of that. He likes to shoot his movies on film. Granted, he didn't direct this, so there's that. But yeah, I know he had a lot of influence, hence the title being changed from The Cellar to 10 Cloverfield Lane to, marketing-wise, tie it back to the original Cloverfield.
Right. But the two aren't connected. And it's really good. And when she wakes up, she's in the bomb shelter, and that's where we get introduced to the other character, Howard, played by John Goodman, and the character Emmett. I think that's a newcomer, isn't it, that actor?
I think it's I forget the actor's name, but I think it's the guy who played Jim Harper in Aaron Sorkin's The Newsroom. I don't know.
I think it is.
Yeah, have you ever watched that show?
No, but I've seen the clips on YouTube, so you're
right. And that's a show I personally really liked, and I thought it was canceled too soon.
But this was it was really well done because it just keeps you guessing on who everyone really is. Because even the lead, we don't get really that much about her. We just have to make our own connections, which was good. Acting was great. John Goodman still is literally firing amazing. He's just amazing. He's on fire.
Wow. Like. This isn't a spoiler, but right from the beginning, when you see John Williams, you know something's off.
John Goodman, yeah.
Howard. When he plays Howard, you know something's off with Howard. You don't know if he's just immature, if he's autistic, or if he's
socially awkward,
creepy, something like that. John Goodman does that part so well, and that's when you're like kind of on the edge of your seat because
he's an imposing force. He's menacing.
Yeah.
Even though he's safe
physically and like emotionally as well.
Yeah, because even though he says he does save Michelle. Howard says that, and I believe it because of all
your life.
Yeah, show some gratitude because of how the story keeps unfolding. I do believe that he accidentally crashed her car, but he really did save her. He really meant to, he really felt bad, and so
I believe that.
To pay for his penance is bringing her into the shelter.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a menacing character, and then the character Emmett's more of the guy you obviously as an audience member falls in love with.
Mm-hmm.
And really, we don't want to give too much more away because it really is it spoils by saying too much, so you just gotta watch it. But the execution was done. It was all done within one room, the bunker. And there was
there was rooms, but it was
all in the bunker.
Yeah, small space.
And it was really a really well constructed set, realistic, had that homey feel. It made you really
like that set.
Really believe this guy prepared.
He's a doomsday prepper.
He really makes you feel like that. He's really prepared. He's very ready to go. He even carries a pistol all the time. He's got his keys on him, almost like a custodian, always keeping maintenance, always on his toes. He has hundreds of VHS or DVD movies on VHS or DVD.
Yeah.
He has board games that take forever to complete.
Yes.
The only thing he was missing was Risk. But everything he is very prepared for for I would say 98%. Anything could happen. Just that 2%, like I don't know, but he prepared for almost everything. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Travis?
I thought this movie was perfect all the way to the end. I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end, but I feel like the ending gave too much away.
Could have been done without.
It could have been more ambiguous.
For the audience, because so much was already left to us to figure out.
Yes, okay. And those movies are always more fascinating. Because the whole point of this movie is Mary Elizabeth Winstead trapped in this bunker. She doesn't know if she can trust these two guys,
and because she is the only girl.
She is the only girl, but she is our audience POV perspective, and we don't know what to think of these characters, especially Howard. So the whole point ultimately is to see if she ever actually gets out.
Yeah, because that's the point of the story.
And then once it answers that question, that's when the movie ends. But then the movie keeps going to reveal.
That's where the story ends.
That's where the real story should end. Where the story should end, the movie should end. The story ends there, but then it continues because
it answers the question of why they're in the bunker.
Yeah, it answers the question of what's going on outside, kind of, sort of, which I felt like was too much, okay. And too much, had nothing to do with the story. What was really important, and I did hear that this movie they had to do some reshoots. So I'm kind of wondering if that extra stuff in the ending that I'm talking about was part of the reshoot.
Okay.
If J.J. Abrams felt, well, we need to reveal more to the audience. We got to make this feel like a bigger blockbuster, that sort of thing. But I didn't think it was necessary. Like, the actual title of the movie was just The Cellar. That's what it was. The original script was titled. The 10 Cloverfield Lane was, I think, after J.J. Abrams got his hands on it and became a producer and therefore provided the actors and the funding and all that. But the Cloverfield Lane was strictly a marketing thing, just to kind of... Because you've seen the original Cloverfield?
I saw that in theaters opening weekend.
And you don't think this movie, in any way, shape, or form, is connected to that first film?
Not at all, because that movie, Cloverfield, took place in Manhattan. Creature got a release. It was basically the Creature feature for the year. Mm-hmm. It was an isolated incident for the whole movie. It was an isolated incident, and it starts off as lost documented footage that, it doesn't specifically say the location, but like the Pentagon got its hands on. So obviously that event has been taken care of. Okay. So that's why, to me, it was an isolated incident. This is for sure global. I mean, it's for sure a global thing because they're all going to their bunker, and
you think it's a global thing, yeah.
There's fallout, and to some degree, there's a fallout.
Yes.
So that's why this is not connected at all, because they're two different events. Mm-hmm. What I do like about this event, though, is in most movies when it's a global event, we always see the surface stuff. Very few of the underground surviving stuff. Like for the whole for Terminator, when they do flashbacks of the future on Judgment Day, they show how some people are living underground, but most of it's the surface battles.
Yes.
So this was great because for a end of the world, because it is the end of the world thing for this movie in a way, like that's what it is, apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It gives us the perspective of people not surviving, waiting it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what was really good. That's why these two movies are not connected, and it's probably just that marketing thing you're saying, Travis.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to what you're saying though about how it should have ended. I half agree with you because that ending that you're saying could have been done without was divided into two parts. If you think about it, I think it should have cut off at the first half of that part.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Where they show the title name again, basically.
Oh, okay.
That's because we're trying not to give away too much here, because this is the movie you need to see, and if you hear one thing,
this is really good.
You got to watch it. So that's why we don't want to give away too much. We're going to talk about the characters, and we're going to talk about some scenes that don't give away the movie, but we don't want to give too much. So that's why we're sounding a little cryptic here. But Travis gets what I mean. When they showed the title again, that's where it should end, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After it answers the big question of did she get out, and that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now let's talk about some of the scenes in the movie. What was your favorite scene that doesn't give too much away?
My favorite scene in the movie.
Or to help you out because we don't want to give too much feel. That gave a really good feel about it all. Life in a bunker.
I think my favorite scene. I think the scene that really sold me was probably the dinner scene.
The first dinner scene?
The first dinner scene.
Yeah, that was a really good setup.
Yeah, very cleverly executed. Yeah, it's just the first time they sit around and dinner together. And that's when you know for sure something's off about this guy.
And wouldn't you say that would be unconventional writing because they're talking about nothing?
Yes, they are talking about nothing like how normal people would talk. I love the dialogue in this movie.
I'm not a cook, but I can cook.
Yes.
It was great.
And he's like, well, in comparison to dying, this shit's the best thing I've ever eaten or something like that.
No cursing at the table.
Yeah, no cursing at the table. Yeah, no flirting. And then, he just has this whole thing about being polite at the table. And then she, because she wants to get the keys. She wants to get out.
She tries to get out, yeah.
So what she does, she realizes he has a politeness thing. And it's done so subtly. I didn't even realize what she was doing at first. But she was asking the other guy, the younger guy, Emmett, mm-hmm. for the salt and other stuff. And, giving subtle hints that she's kind of flirting with him. They had good chemistry on screen together. But then, John Goodman freaks out, shoves her against the wall. She's like, how dare you do this at my table? This is not respectful. I saved your life. You owe me some gratitude. And that's when you see John Goodman be really scary the first time. But then he sits back down and he's like, well, first of all, he says, you owe me an apology. She says, okay, I apologize. I'm sorry. And she says it so submissively that make that moment creepier too. But then he sits down. She has his keys.
Yeah, and the way she's holding them.
She's holding them in her, and then it even zooms up in her legs. The part of her her thighs are touching the seat where you see the keys sticking out.
Yeah.
And then I could have sworn I heard some key movement.
Well, probably to get it hidden, she has.
Yeah, and making sure she doesn't jingle them. Until John Goodman was looking for his keys. Where are my keys? And then, smash.
Well, because that's shown in the trailer. She smashes him with the bottle. Yes. And she runs up to try to escape, but obviously it's foiled because she does see she doesn't get the question answered what's going on out there, but she gets an answer of it's dangerous out there right now.
Yes, because there's a woman that's like, let me in. And she looks all
bashing her skull in.
Yeah, she's bashing her skull in. That's, uh-oh.
Yeah, so it's definitely stuff. So that was a good scene. You're right. I like that. I was actually going to basically say that one too, because it sets the stage for the rest of the movie in the sense the feeling.
Yes.
One, this is how their life will be for a year or two until it's safe to go outside. It's 3 people, 3 strangers, one girl, 2 guys. Everyone's a different age. Mm-hmm. One is definitely has this weird moral code and strict guidelines. One's a carefree kind of slacker, and then her. And you're right, because that's mine.
Yeah.
Because the montages were cool to show passage of time.
Yeah.
I like how they show that. How do you pass the time? Puzzles,
board games. They're playing the game of life.
And then they have a lot of movies to watch. Yes. And through that you see more of the characters. You find out little stuff because they have magazines. Because it's they have magazines, and we find out she wanted to be a fashion designer. So the little stuff comes out, little stories about certain people. One was basically, Emmett is basically a college dropout without even going to college. Dropout, and so that was an interesting character trait. We find out that Howard was in the Navy for 14 years, so that's why he was so prepared and knows so much survival skills. So it's this movie, through its unconventional dialogue, its unconventional screenplay, gave a lot of life and made you feel first of all, it felt like the movie went by super fast. Yeah. And it was definitely at least an hour and a half long, but it didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like I was there that long. I didn't feel like, even when I had to pee, it wasn't I gotta pee. It's I just gotta go to the restroom. It was honestly, I think this was one of the best films to start off so far in this beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Post-Oscar season.
Post-Oscar, yeah.
This is definitely...
For 2016, yes.
This is a good movie at the beginning of post-Oscar.
I also like how much detail must have been written in the script, but how much detail was written into the script of pointing out little things in the house that eventually pays off in, like, the third act.
And some don't even. There's a few that don't even have anything to do with the third act, but that's how much...
What do you mean then?
Oh, like, okay, the way he went on about hydration. I mean, I didn't really... There was no payoff in that because he just keeps...
Oh, okay. That's part of the nothing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm just adding...
No, okay, yeah.
You're right, though. A lot of stuff pays off in the end because they definitely... This was a well-written script. Everything had continuity. But there's also so much added detail of, like, that you've really felt like you knew this bunker after a while because it was so nice. It didn't... For such a small bunker, it was pretty spacious.
Yeah, but this is a movie setting.
No, but that's why I like it. That's why I like it. It was like I think this is how prepared he was. Okay. How much money he had. He had this big plot of land, a farm that he could build a lot of stuff underground with. No one's gonna mess with him. Those things were definitely like blast-proof doors, bulletproof, everything around. They were big metal, thick 5-inch, maybe more than 5-inch doors.
Yeah. He
had a great kitchen, and also too when Emmett was cleaning it, it showed how Howard is. He wants everything clean, everything perfect, everything nice, kept in order. Because when he talked about his table, when he's showing the room to Michelle, he's like, that's the kitchen table. It is a family table, though, so coaster all the time.
Coaster all the time, yes.
Coaster. So that there's like that little detail. Because that's what I meant by details not paying off. Yeah. Because they just had stuff to do with setting the stage.
Yeah. So coaster on the table, I mean, that may have not mattered like directly, but it set up the atmosphere of what kind of dinner table atmosphere he wanted,
and what kind of person he is,
that scene,
and what kind of atmosphere he has created in this place. One thing I liked for the detail of the set was how the bathroom and shower was set up, like how it's kind of like how most tiny homes are. The bathroom and the tub, shower and the toilet basically share the same tub.
Yes.
That's how tiny homes are. That's how some RVs are. Yeah. I think that was a phenomenal little detail because, like, it's true. This is how it is. At least you got a toilet and a shower.
Yeah. He's like, close the curtain. And then he's like, I'm not a sex pervert.
I'm not a pervert. I'm not going to watch you go to the restroom. But he has to have people go at certain intervals to not raise the flushing.
Yes.
That was a great detail. So this really honestly added this was just really well. It was definitely... on the technical side, flawless. On the technical part of the setting of the stage, of everything. Writing part, there was one flaw I felt continuity-wise. I know I admitted to you it was nitpicking, but there's a part where they have to go fix the filter. And when she goes to do it, she has to go through a vent, Michelle, because Howard obviously can't fit and Emmett has a broken arm. Yeah. Or I think it's sprained or broken. They don't really say.
But she's the only one that can fit there.
But Howard himself can't get to the air filter himself because the door is jammed somehow. The hatch is jammed leading into it. When she gets to the vent and gets there and fixes the generator, first fixes the air filter, she doesn't ever unblock what's blocking that door. Oh. So that to me was a little bit on like you made such a big deal about it. That's the only reason why she's in there. She didn't fix it?
Yeah. Okay, that was a flaw, and I guess the only reason...
That's the one.
Yeah, and I think the only reason that was there...
was to add more of the elements of the atmosphere.
Well, also because...
Yeah.
I have a reason, but I don't know if I want to say it, because I think it's...
I know what you're saying.
I think it's a spoiler.
I know what you're saying. It's to add more tension to the plot.
Yeah, but it probably wasn't that well set up, just that one little bit, but other than that...
that was it.
This is a near-perfect film.
Yeah. Really well executed. Acting's great because it's a small cast. Oh, surprisingly enough, Bradley Cooper's in it.
Yeah, we found that on IMDb. He's the voice of the phone of Michelle's boyfriend in the prologue scene.
He's Bradley Cooper's the voice of the character Ben, who we never see, just here, and that was kind of cool to find out. It's like, holy crap, that was Bradley Cooper, and that didn't sound like Bradley Cooper. That was phenomenal. Just that little. It was like an added bonus.
Yeah.
The car crash was really intense.
Yes.
That, like I said, with the opening credits, we loved it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I just find it interesting that the entire production of this was kept a secret.
Really? What do you mean?
From what I heard, because I think the first trailer wasn't released until, I think, November, December, like a few months ago.
Uh-huh.
The entire production of this thing was kept a secret. I don't think anyone really knew that this
kept, like,
film...
under the radar?
Yes, like, it wasn't, no one was talking about it until the first trailer was released. And then everyone's like, whoa, shoot, you kept this entire production a secret. And you know J.J. Abrams, he loves his mystery boxes. That's just... Look at any of the TV shows he does. I mean, he's all big on keeping things a secret.
Yeah.
For the audience not to know.
Like how he did with Star Wars, he kept all the storyline as secret as much as he could under wraps.
How they misled us with Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing in this day and age they were able to keep the production of this movie. Granted, it's technically not a franchise film, so it might have been easy. Yeah.
Well, I think it is. It did definitely.
Might as well have been an indie film. It's that kind of movie.
It is hard because of how social media is nowadays. Like you really can't keep much a secret anymore.
No. Especially
big stuff. So, and that's what helped with this movie because it was such a oh gosh, what's the word for it? It just came out of left field, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely a really well done movie. It goes by quick, so there's definitely you can watch it again because of that. Not just because of its short runtime, but that adds another bonus of it's rewatchable because of that. Because I think it really is rewatchable because yes, once you watch it, all the big stuff is basically answered. All the what's the real answer, what's this or that. Other stuff you do have to draw conclusions that are about Howard. You have to draw some conclusions about him still because that never is answered at the end. But you want to rewatch it because it's the acting, the way these characters interact is really so well done. And this movie is so... it had such a simplicity factor that I was talking to Travis, this could be easily converted into a play. You just have it start with her in the cellar, just have her talk about what happened to her beforehand, and you just slightly change the ending.
You would have to change the ending a lot,
I would
say.
But just visually. But,
yes.
But other than that, you can still keep everything.
Yeah, because it's very isolated, just in a couple of rooms.
It's a one-set play. It's a one-set movie.
I was in a production of The Diary of Anne Frank, and that was like a 2-story thing. If you have the stage big enough and a set that's tall enough, you could do this as a play.
Sleeper hit. That was the thing. It's a sleeper.
There we go. That's what you're looking for.
Sleeper
hit. Yeah.
So far right now, it's the sleeper hit of the year. So far, This is the sleeper hit of the year. Definitely a great start to the post-Oscar thing. Will it get nominated for anything? I think just screenwriting.
I think it's too early for it to get nominated for anything, and plus, I don't know if the Academy will even take J.J. Abrams seriously.
But I think for anything, I would put my hat. I would put its name in the screenwriting category for originality because it's just these characters had so much meat.
I would drop. Yeah, and
I'm not saying that because John Goodman's fat. They just had so much meat.
And I would drop the actors in there as well, especially John Goodman.
Well, it was John Goodman stole the show.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't the main, he wasn't.
And even though the other two actors were very good, but John Goodman stood out.
He figuratively and literally filled the room. It's cool to see that an actor, because he's getting old. You can definitely see in this movie his age.
Yeah.
And with his weight.
But I think it worked.
It worked, but it just shows this guy is still a powerhouse.
Yes.
And he didn't have to do much. He just talked. This man has still got a lot of energy, a lot of fire in him, and it's basically like, I can still kick ass. He could literally just piss lemonade. He does. He always does. He's amazing. So this is really cool to see him just really it's like, dude, you're here. You're still here. No, you're still here and still kicking ass.
Oh yeah.
Any final things you can think of, Travis?
Go see it if you get a chance. I know it's been out for a couple weeks, so it might be a little late at this point, but
yeah,
I'd check it out in the Redbox.
It's worth going to the movies for. It's worth paying the ticket price for the movie. If you wait till Redbox, it's worth buying. It's not even worth renting. Just buy it. Yeah. It's worth adding to your personal movie collection, and it's worth going to get that movie ticket, paying that $10 plus price. So, this is one of our quick episodes, but because we just don't want to give too much.
I think this is the shortest one we've done.
Because we really want you to go see it for yourselves and really feel what we felt.
Yeah.
But all we gotta say is, characters were really well portrayed. Actors were beyond on point.
Yes.
Screenwriting was phenomenal. The special effects that you will see were great.
Yes.
The practical effects were even good too.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely, there was a lot of heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, I put a definitely great movie. Will it be an instant classic later on? Probably not. If anything, in that cult classic status feel.
Maybe like a cult classic. Like, I don't know if they're going to do another movie with the Cloverfield title.
No, but I think
it'll be like one of those art trilogies where it's not actually a narrative continuity trilogy, but like one of the Lars von Trier trilogies or something.
Yeah, this will just definitely be known as like a good movie when we're all 60.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like, oh yeah, that was a great movie to see. I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah,
that's that type of movie. It's like how people feel when they saw The Thing. Even though I know The Thing's a classic, but it's still like it's got like that different classic feel.
Yeah, not as gory though.
No,
well,
a little gory.
A little bit towards the end, but it wasn't bad.
There's some intense moments.
There's no Thing.
All right, well, that wraps us up for this episode. Thank you for joining us. Like we said, really go see this movie. It's definitely worth taking your time out to go to the movie theaters and seeing this. And it just really is. Really, you'll remember this film. So thanks again for joining us. I'm Tom Flores.
I'm Travis Baker.
This is Combo number 2. Catch you on the next time.
Bye.
Bye.